Hi, and welcome to the I Teach Myself podcast. My name is Matthew Miniman, and this is episode 114. What can true love teach us about hacking remnants? And with me today, I have Jerome Altoff. Again, the inevitable, the incontrovertible, the man.
Mute when he coughed.
Yes,
Sorry.
Jerome, you wanna put out your
Yes, I do. I had two things I want to put out. One, anything I say is only my opinion, doesn't represent my employer or anything I'm affiliated with. And two, I thought I had muted until I heard Matthew starting to giggle. I almost started to do the intro. Sorry, everybody. Don't worry that I'm on the buffing.
No, it's all ASMR. We love ASMR. We're gonna let everybody listen to our mouth sounds, which is perfect.
I mean, that's half of my web history, but it's only because of Sergeant Butterworth. I don't just putting it out there. Plug for this dude. He makes some hilarious mockery of ASMRs. Anyway, I'm sorry.
You hear that, Butterworth? I'm coming for you for ad revenue. You're gonna pay me. You're gonna pay me, bitch. Anyway, yeah, we're talking about true love here. No, we're not talking about Butterworths. Although those are great. Great candies.
Some phrasing right there. There's some love in there.
Ooh. So true love. It is the only thing that can keep a man from dying. It is the only thing that can keep a man alive past the mostly dead point. If somebody is dead, not fully dead, but mostly dead, they can be revived if they have true love in their heart.
I feel like I've heard this somewhere, Matthew.
Yeah, right? Really? Inconceivable. Yeah, it's the if you have true love, it's not to blave, not to bluff, which we all know would be gambling, and this is the reason why people want to revive somebody to gain back the money that he owes them. But in a scenario where you have true love, you can be revived by magic. I want to say Magic Mike, but that's a different movie. Right?
It slightly different tone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Step away from the curtain, sir.
It's a lot less pants, a lot more thrusting.
More bow tie too.
Ooh.
As I understand it. Not that I know. I wasn't an extra in the background. Anyway.
Definitely have never lived that life.
Nope. Back on topic.
Anybody want a peanut?
Oh.
So as we all know, if true love were to be a thing, you would have to have something to want to live for, and that is the most noble of causes. That and taking down Humperdinck. Humperdinck is the worst. He is the person who is stealing the kingdom, who is challenging the world and ruining all that is good.
And there he sent his 4 fastest ships out to find her. Like, what do you mean? He's a good guy.
Yeah, but he decided to hire a Sicilian to do the job, so he's obviously untrustworthy. Never hire a Sicilian to do a work when death is on the line. Miracle Max. God damn, Miracle Max. Not Miracle Mike. Miracle Max. Yeah, I had to find the name. Sorry. Was totally unprepared with that name. But it's a concept in cybersecurity that you have to clean out a remnants when you've been under an attack. If you have ever suffered from an attack, if you've ever been victim of a breach or had a breach occur in your environment, you have to clear out all remnants. You can't just trust that because you no longer see the problem, because the IT guys have done their job, that all remnants of the attack have occurred. Because even though you paid this guy to murder the one person standing in the way, the dread pirate Roberts standing in the way of you and the rest of your kingdom, That does not mean it actually happened. You have to make sure he is dead. And so you have to remove all remnant of that love. You have to remove all remnant of that person from the kingdom in order for you to succeed. And not doing that can result in a recompromise, into a full compromise of your system, which unfortunately Humperdinck found out the hard way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Rumor has it that he did not clean out his bucket list of threats.
Yeah.
And so it goes. That's what happens. Like he fell. He fell.
Yeah. He fell hard to the pain, as it were, to the pain, not to the death. Well, and it wasn't just that the remnant that was left in the true love was what caused the full compromise. It was also the fact that after the compromise occurred and they didn't remove the remnant of true love in there, additional resources were involved in compromising afterwards. So they knew where their target was. They knew what they had to do because they already had internal information. But then they also brought additional resources to perform the task faster. So they hired the Spaniard to go through and challenge everybody in a sword fight. They had the giant, who is the brute squad, to go through and with his chaos cloak to scare the guards at the castle. These are things that occur when you have a recompromise, when you are breached again. If you don't get rid of all the remnants, you can become compromised faster and more efficiently and effectively, and your environment is left defenseless because the attackers understand more about your environment now. They will prepare themselves to get back in.
Yeah, the second time's always easier than the first time, as it were.
Yeah, because they've already gotten in. They already experienced everything. It's no longer this clean, man, I'm going down a bed. Okay, yep.
What are you talking about? I was thinking like they know where the gatehouse is and they know where like all the security stuff is.
Exactly, precisely. Nothing. Not talking about anything else. Yeah, but they also openly identify themselves. They provide the information about who they are and why they're there. They identify themselves by name, and because they are so confident in their abilities to succeed with this true love, so that they compromise the full environment. So it doesn't matter that that they're there. They're going to perform everything anyway. They're going to do everything they can to achieve their task, and steal that princess back. They even had horses waiting to get out. And so in a real functional cybersecurity incident, when you are working within when you're working within an environment that has been compromised, it is vital that you identify all aspects of change that have occurred in the environment since the compromise was completed. It's not just enough to kick the attacker out the first time. You have to make sure that there's no way for their persistence to be there, that there's no way for them to gain access back into the system. And this means doing things like checking the places where true love can reside. Obviously, it's the heart.
It is. Yeah. All right, Aristotle. No, it's
fucking
Aricento. You have to clean it. No, that's the wrong podcast, Matthew. Wrong. We both listened to another podcast called The Constant that's really hilarious. But what? Oh, I'm sorry.
Mark Chrysler, I'm coming after you for ad revenue too.
He's way funnier than we are, so I think he'll just make us laugh until we cry and give him money. But no, the Remnants is like, it's the thing that keeps everybody up at night. Did we get everything? Did we purge every closet, every drawer, every aspect of it? Did we reset all the locks correctly? Or did they add an extra tumbler that we weren't aware of, to go to a specific like lock analogy, or some other thing? Because once you've been compromised once, they do know more about you. They do know how you operate. They have an idea of you. and it is easier for them to come back the second time. And that's like, and how do you know? It's like the high school prank of like releasing 12 rabbits in a school, spray painted 1 through 13. Like we've never found, we never found 9
Yeah.
because the students skipped 9. Students and hunting and hunting and hunting, and they get to laugh their asses off. Or you spray paint them 1 through 13 and there's, 14. And so they think they're good because they got all the number line, everything's good. They see what they expected and they got what they expected, but there's still another rabbit. Like,
Yep.
it is the thing that stresses any CISO or security practitioner out who gives a shit. Like, did we get it? Did we actually get it all? Not only do we have to worry about all the new threats, but did we actually get the stuff that did get it at least one layer in?
Yeah. And the unfortunate part about this, and I wish there were a way for me to tell you all of the places for you to check. There's really not. I can rattle off a few, which I will, but it's one of those things where it's like, depending on the attack, depending on how the attacker is, whatever their methodology is, the areas that a remnant can sit can literally be anywhere. But some of the most popular places where people tend to forget where shit exists and they overlook the cleanup of a remediation or compromise are places like the registry. So specifically things like the run once and run registry areas, the shell registry that identify where applications can run in a authoritative manner. Those locations within your registry are going to be very important. That obviously that's in a Windows environment, but also places like your cron jobs in a Linux environment, your cron tab, your services, your service configurations. Those are all places that you want to check to make sure that you don't have some remnant of compromise left over. Also checking things like scheduled tasks inside of Windows. Just like cron job in Linux, you want to check your scheduled tasks in Windows, but you don't want to just check them for the system or just for the user that was compromised. You also want to check them for the system and or all users that are on the system, because the attacker could have had some sort of script that went through and deployed it across the environment. But you also need to look up at the startup folders for both the system and the users. You need to look at the app data within each user profile that may have been compromised, including the system's app data profile, which if you didn't know existed, surprise, it totally exists and it's there. You also want to look at the program data for anything that's running. These are all popular places for stuff to run. And identify processes that are running within your environment. Identify the services that are identifying in your environment, and identify what's normal and what's not, because the attacker could have sideloaded a service or application that sits there passively, and that's how they got in. And also, after a compromise, after you've cleaned everything, once you have everything up and running, it is a good idea to reboot, because that may lead to an execution of code that could allow the attacker back into your system. And so it's better to have it happen under controlled circumstances where you're looking than forget that you were compromised 3 months from now when your server finally reboots after updates, and then you become compromised again. See, these are all things that you have to do. And I know it's crazy, and it's hard for anybody to be like, yeah, I've got everything, and I identified all of the places where the attacker has laid stuff. But it is a thing. It's hard. It's something that is going to take a lot of time. You will never feel secure in your environment again as long as you have remnants or have the possibility of remnants sitting in there. This is why forensics teams are a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I know that's really weak to say, yeah, but like 100%. You're constantly just checking like your snapshot against current, your snapshot 2 months ago against current. It just, how long ago? And that's the other thing. If you don't detect it early, you just have to keep scrubbing down deeper and deeper and deeper. The meme of, hey, there's a mouse in the house, burn down the house, might feel accurate by the time you're done.
Yeah, it there are circumstances where a full compromise, it feels just like, okay, we're just going to burn the shit down. We're going to rebuild from the ground up. We're just doing it. Damn it.
Yeah. We think the database is secure, so we're just going to destroy all production and rebuild from image. Like, okay, if it's that simple, I mean, what risk tolerance do you have, and how assured do you have to be? Compliance factors, or yeah, well, we can go other directions, but yeah.
And I know listening to this and listening to my rant about this, somebody's like, inconceivable. That doesn't make any sense. None of this is actually happening. But you know, they're probably shouting and yelling at me because they're like, oh, well, you could just restore from backup. And cool, bro. If you want to restore from backup, that's fine. If you can identify exactly when you were compromised and you have 100% confidence that you were not compromised before that point, sure, go ahead and restore from backup. But that's not possible for, I'm probably going to guess, 95% of organizations in the world.
And don't forget, Matthew, that a compromise might be colorless, odorless, and tasteless, just like iocane powder.
But the unfortunate part is you can't build up a tolerance to that. You can't build up a tolerance. Well, I guess maybe you could build up a tolerance for being hacked. You just don't give a shit anymore. But iocane powder, at least it's a weaker poison than the compromise.
Yeah, we'd have to check with the hacker named 4chan to see how they deal with it, because they're all being hacked.
It's no big deal, bro. It's no big deal. It's just to have a zero value. It's just to have a $0 market value. That's how you build your tolerance up.
That sounds like a Rick and Morty gag. Yeah, you got
it. So in the full scheme of working with a compromise or after a compromise, if you are not confident that you've captured everything, that you have identified all of the places where changes have occurred, there are tools to help you. This is one of the reasons why having an EDR in place is really vital, because an EDR, while it might not detect the attacker specifically, because an MDR is really what's going to do that for you with a backed by a SOC, a 24/7 SOC. An EDR will at least identify all processes and activity that have happened on a system, and you can go back in time and see what has occurred, so that you can identify where the attackers got in and who has taken the princess. You can identify this, what aspect they've leveraged to get access into your system, and what they added to your system as well. You can identify this through the EDR, and that will help. Also doing things like sys monitoring and process monitoring, and identifying all of the changes that have occurred through those. That'll all help you in identifying exactly what might have changed on your system, as well as a desired state configuration baseline. Having some sort of baseline to compare and contrast against, and making sure that your DSC is up to date, can help you detect these changes and identify where a malicious actor may still have a payload in place. These are all things to help. Tools that will help you in this identification, so you don't have to be that expert in forensics. So you don't have to be that expert in hunting down the attack methodologies of a particular breach.
Yeah, and just like, so these tools are helpful, but just like building up the immunity to iocane powder, it takes time. It takes you making sure that you have information in these tools. Like, I know one thing that Matthew likes to harp on is, cool, you turn on your AI cybersecurity agent, you're good now. No worries. No, bro, that takes 90 days at least to build up an understanding of your environment and how you guys work before it can really secure it. So if the hacker's already there, that's part of baseline. If you don't start preparing these things, you're going to get experience in the way you don't want to get experience.
Exactly. You're going to find that you now have 4 crazy guys running around your castle trying to capture the President?
President?
Wrong movie. Wrong movie. Sorry, wrong movie.
Wow, Lynette, you are all over it.
Up my plane.
The, I thought you were talking about the American president.
Oh, well, no comment.
We could flip that over to the princess.
Yeah, the princess. You have three guys trying to capture your princess, and they're running through your castle with just immunity. They're able to do everything they need to because, again, they understand your environment now. They know where to look. They know how to navigate your environment and get past the different pieces. And even when you place your most trusted advisor to go out and take care of this situation, he falls to one of them because he's six-fingered.
That's his own damn fault.
Well, I don't know. My wife would tell you it's because he didn't have the digit removed when he was a baby, but it just seems cruel and unusual.
Come up often.
Yeah, honestly, you'd be surprised how many children are born with six fingers. I think this is getting into a different podcast. Vestigial.
How many lizard people are out there, Matthew?
There's at least one.
Yeah. A quantity than none. All right. Anyway,
I feel like we've gotten off the. I feel like we've gotten off the rails here. Were we ever on the rails? I don't know.
No, but it did have the ring of giant scary rodents.
Yeah.
No, that was forced. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. I feel like this is a good place to end it before the screaming eels start coming for us. So
the joke is mostly dead, but not all dead.
Yeah, we got a few more whacks in before it becomes pulp.
One thing before you do your outro, just for everybody, I did have our late great Rob Reiner's filmography up, and I wonder how many Easter egg movie titles you can get out of my part of the conversation.
Man, I hope it's so many because yeah, man was a genius. Man had vision.
Yeah, that's a shame. All right.
Yeah. In the classification of greatest movies of all time, it's Shawshank Redemption, Princess Bride, and then basically Rob Reiner the rest of the way down. And this one goes to 11, brother.
It does. I do have to, since you threw Shawshank out there, I have to say, I saw that movie entirely too young the first time. And when I watched it again later in life, I was like, oh, that's deeper than I thought or darker than I thought. But no, not in a good way.
Oh, well,
Consent is important. Anyway, moving right away to the out.
All right, guys. Well, that's all we have time for today. And I hope you all have a great day.